So you are quite physically, you are not physically very accomplished. So therefore, are you going to try to do all of this by yourself? When you go back into the craft, um, obviously, um, let's see here to get the proper
I will
names settled
I will
here.
ask 115716 to help me to prepare things and get them down the ladder
Mm-hmm.
so I can concentrate on my data transfers
Mm-hmm.
maybe, and they can pick up and gather everything else. If that's okay with them.
Well, yeah, sure. It's fine. It's like, okay, well, it's been a bit like, okay, let's get out of here. Like, like
Right.
we had the mission, so whatever. Like, just put me. I'm the yeah.
All right.
Like,
Back to normal, carrying things. Right.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the strongest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the soldiers are, but that's I'm the messenger.
Oops,
So,
there goes Nathan.
No, I'm still here. Sorry, just grabbing something.
yeah, no, it's fine. I'm used to carrying
Right.
between places. So
Okay, so is it time to start moving yourselves out of the other? Yes, Max.
I would like. I guess there is nothing, but if I can look if there is something we can use as weapons or anything from the old something, I just do a. So I was just thinking about doing a check for.
That's actually not that bad an idea. You're going to find that they are not sufficiently maintained. It's that there were. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it this way: there will be some small hand weapons. They are of the shotgun technology, although they are not shotguns. Therefore, they are not blasters like the kind you have. But they are. But you clearly can say, "Aha! Look, a small shotgun." It's kind of how you would perceive this, and it's the work of a moment, to say, "Oh, well, that's interesting. I can use this." They do have blasters and things and shotguns in the hive and similar things like the web gun that are not built into the body. So it's not strange to you that this isn't built into a body. That's not weird. But they aren't. Well, I mean, they're quite old, and so it's going to take a little bit of maintenance and effort to make sure that they actually work, and fortunately, it's very low tech, so it can't nothing. It's very difficult for something to go wrong with a basic, percussion firearm. Once properly stored, it's pretty good shape, so for indefinitely. So it's just a matter of making sure you realize you need to find ammunition for it. Everything's all packed there. You can find, so there's two pistols.
Okay, then I'll take what I can find and put it in the cart.
Right. Oh, here's another thing. There is at least one and possibly more than one flare guns that you would use to send up, a signal if you needed to. That could be seen from very, very far away.
I'll take those.
You could also shoot someone in the face with it, and it would also have an effect. But
why would I do that?
but its intent is clearly that of a signal flare.
I'll put the pistols in the cart and the flare gun I will have on me. If there are two, I will give one to the other soldier.
Sure.
Flare gun. I write 2 flare guns and 2 pistols.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Seems like what you would expect on a craft of this kind for emergency purposes. So, and as I say, these were not set up in any kind of way for casual use, which is why they're still usable. They're packed away, right, in terms of storage. So, Okay, excellent. We shall continue. Let's take you out through that corridor. And as you know from your map anyway, that you are going to go around the bend more toward the center of the map. And one thing you'll find there is another piece of equipment, as you can see on the map. And that piece of equipment is a stationary device which the soldiers can recognize as being an automated defense device, which is now no longer in repair and used up whatever ammunition it had long ago. But interestingly enough, here at this point was clearly over a very long period of time multiple destruction of Seekers. So this thing had been set up to destroy Seekers using automatic sensing long ago, and many Seekers were destroyed by it. It's no longer in repair. It's been, and also out of ammunition. So that's what you discover there. When you come up to when you move to this portion of the map, you have bad news in that it's another steep incline to get up to that central space on the map. As far as the tunnels are concerned, there's sort of a central chamber. What you can tell, however, even from down below, is that up there is a completely different environment. Up there is open. There's fresh air. In other words, it's not underground up there. Which is something that the archivist has never seen. The drone may have seen in the course of their many different tasks, and the soldiers are aware that there are such places without roofs that are not corridors or tunnels. The soldiers are aware that such things exist and maybe have traveled or fought in them before. But to the archivist, to the drone, it would be unfamiliar. To the archivist, it would be alien. If it had been indicated that way on the map that you had, then you would not have comprehended it until this moment. So anyway, though, getting the car up there is going to be difficult, but not impossible. At this point, I'm going to say, after all this experience working together telekinetically and perhaps with a little bit of physical help from everybody present, it won't be too terrible to get up to that central chamber, but it's going to take a long time. It's going to take quite a while. It's in order to do it without a roll, which probably could have further disasters. To get it up there without a roll is going to take hours, and so it's not impossible. I'm not threatening you or anything, just letting you know that this is going to keep your characters busy for some time. So as you work your way up into that chamber or that upper area, several things will become much more apparent. The physical destruction of what was once a physical square building is very evident. So you will be walking on floors in that area, in that central area, but it's clearly the blasted apart remains of several buildings. It's open to the sky. None of you are ecologically educated enough to understand that it is just before sunrise. So it's much lighter than it was. Now you have starlight and can see at short distances and are no longer in the pitch black. And with your lights, it's very easy to understand the environment that you're looking at immediately. But on the other hand, the extreme exposure, none even the soldiers are not comfortable with, an open environment, an environment where 50%, right, the top half of your environment is just exposed. It's kind of like you guys are all tunnel and quarter inhabitants your entire lives. So looking around here, it's a little bit alarming, which is why I would like perception checks from the soldiers. Probably from, I will be fair here. You guys do share a group mind. The soldiers' sudden awareness of exposure and vulnerability would be sharply communicated to everybody else, I think. So therefore, perception check for everybody is fine. I'm going to give a penalty to both Helma and to Nathan because you have literally no idea what you should be looking for. So you will get perception checks. And this is not a group mind thing, so failures will not subtract from anybody. But I am going to give everybody a roll for perception.
Was perception something we had, or was it just above the focus?
Right. No, it's neither. In this case, it would be cleverness.
Cleverness. Okay.
No, cleverness.
Oh, come on. Failure.
Yeah, it's
Failure.
Failure.
So Nathan, I'm a little surprised. Don't you have are you failing all of your focus skills right now?
Yes, I am.
Wow,
I got a 2.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
And I got a 6 on the last time.
Wow.
So yeah, no, it's just
Yeah. It's not a good day for you, right?
No.
Okay. So let me roll then for. Oh, well. I roll a 5, and he needs a 5 or less. So.
He's clever.
So yeah, that's
very competent.
yeah. So your newest family member is the one who at this point, gives a telepathic signal, particularly to their fellow soldier, who is 249800. Yeah. It's interesting. Both of the soldiers ended up by random dice rolls, ended up with 00 at the end of their digits. Don't know why. And so that means that the two, you are alerted by the other soldier to the threat from above, which occurs just a little bit as you proceed across the space, and enough for all of you to get a better idea of that this is some sort of destroyed facility, some sort of destroyed building. Another thing that you'll see there too is that there's a great deal of industrial equipment, things for digging, things for storing, things for processing, that probably, if the technician had some time to examine, could figure out what they actually did or used to do. Right now, that is not happening. And so, but therefore you are some distance across this space. Think of the destroyed bottoms of walls that used to be full walls for buildings or rooms. And so therefore it's very uneven and broken, treacherous space, right? You couldn't run easily across a long distance. There is no cover particularly. It's too ruined and too old. So there aren't even any partial roofs. And the threat is arriving by air. The big fear is whether it's a bunch of seekers, which would be devastating, of course. But it's not. Whoever or whatever is arriving on wings. These are winged creatures, and a number of them, more than one, more than two, and potentially, and arriving in a flock.
Hide.
Did I hear you say hide?
Question mark to everybody.
So I'd like to know what everybody does. As I say, everybody is aware of this because of the other soldiers' signal. And the two of you will probably go into some sort of functional fighting together, position, facing away from one another, and choosing a quadrant to monitor. And I would like to know what everybody is doing, and then we will all roll dice. Tell me if you want to put a little extra effort into it. If your goal is to avoid being attacked, then I strongly recommend either, it would probably be agility.
You mentioned pieces of equipment that could be analyzed. Is it far away?
From where you are at the moment, there are some of these heavy machines. Some of them were obviously stationary. In other words, part of an old building rather than a vehicle. So therefore, some of those, I would like you to think of some kind of mining, processing surfaces that either moved things on belts or were used for analysis at some mineral or chemical level. So think of it as very factory oriented, and also for large numbers of people to be working at the same time. So we have big surfaces.
Okay, so there is things that are used to move stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to try a refocus roll first to know exactly what my character is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do it now?
Oh, yes, that's an excellent. Yeah, roll your refocus.
Okay, that's a failure. So my character is going to ignore the danger and go over here.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I see. All right. So you are not going to avoid being attacked. You are going to get interested in the machines and say, I am all about fixing machines right now.
Because all the task we had before was to get a cart.
I completely agree. Yeah.
So I'm going on that.
Now, what is everyone going to do? What was everyone else going to do? Hannah and Helma.
Hide.
You are going to hide.
Yes, preferably to some place where it's, you don't have open whatever. That you have some kind of cover.
Well, since the roofs are all destroyed, as well as the tops, the majority of the walls, the best thing would be under one of these old pieces of furniture and equipment. So,
yeah, sounds good. The important thing is cover the head, because that's the uncomfortable thing.
Got it.
And where the danger is coming.
So you can think actually of quickness, agility, or cleverness. Really, any of those would be would be possible.
Not the cleverness, because I'm stupid.
Right.
But yeah, quickness, agility, both are fine.
Okay.
Let's say agility.
Okay.